Greetings and welcome to another episode of Soul Talk, where we talk Star Citizen with members of the community. I'm joined by my co-host Griffin Gaming. How are you doing, Griffin?
Pretty good. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing all right. Today is December 9th, 2021. Almost mid-December already. We see the end of the year. How's your week been?
We're halfway to the Book of Boba Fett.
Ha! Halfway.
2 more weeks. 2 more weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, we're halfway through the month. Yeah, it's 2 more weeks to go. I'm doing okay. It's been a busy week. A lot going on. Holidays, work, a little bit of travel coming up. So I'm just trying to get caught up with everything.
Yeah, I've been working on XSplit. I don't know if you can tell that we've changed the look a little bit, and our notification after doing all that work job we doing.
You did a good job. That's good.
Well, thank you. So yeah, I thought I've been reading more books. I am still on the Audible thing. One of my favorite authors, Craig Allenson, put out a book from Expeditionary Force. He has it's military sci-fi with a whole lot of humor. So I love the series. It's about I think it's book 9 that they're on to now. So it's a long series, but I think it's well worth it. And I started a Wheel of Time TV series.
Really, that's good. I finally got going with, I think I mentioned to you about getting into The Expanse finally, because people are always saying, Griff, I can't believe you haven't seen The Expanse. So I think I'm on episode 8 or 9 in season 1. So I think there's 10 episodes. So I'll be ready to go to season 2. Yeah, though it depends on season. Okay, well, hopefully, maybe in 2 weeks I'll finally, because I won't get to watch it next week, but hopefully I'll get to finish up season 1 and kind of progress on. People said it would be slow, but it's not slow. And maybe it's because in comparison to the momentum of the series in later seasons, but it's not like, dragging or anything. So it's got my interest, and it takes a lot for me to watch a series.
I think they keep a good pace. I think it changed because it used to be on the Sci-Fi channel, and then it got moved to Amazon Prime when they canceled on Sci-Fi. So that's why the episodes aren't going to be uneven per season. All right, okay. So you ready for me to do my thing?
Not really. I never am, but go ahead.
All right, here we go. I don't want a lot for Christmas. There was just one thing I need, and I don't care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree. And I don't need to hang my stocking there upon the fireplace. Santa Claus won't make me happy with a toy on the Christmas day. Oh, I won't ask for much this Christmas. I won't even wish for snow, and I'm just gonna keep on waiting underneath the mistletoe. I won't make a list and send it to North Pole for St. Nick. I won't even stay awake to hear those magic reindeer clicks. I just want you for my own, more than you can ever know. Make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas is you. You, baby. I almost got through that with a straight face. I messed up here. I almost got through that with a straight face.
I'm going to be honest with you. You had me for a moment because it took me a minute until you got to the chorus. I knew it was a song, but it wasn't clicking in my head. And then I heard Mariah Carey in the background. I'm like, okay, all right. I know what this is now. So okay.
At least you got through the middle of it. I had you going for a bit there. So yeah, that was Mariah Carey from 2011. So it's been 10 years. 10 years.
It's been that long. Oh my God, that's been a long time. I'll give you some credit for that one. That was interesting to say the least.
My dramatic reading. I had a choice between Captain Kirk, Christopher Walken, and Pullman from Independence Day. I just went my own way.
The holiday. Well, the holiday theme is apropos, so not bad at all. Not bad at all.
All right, so we got Jade and Emma Kusanagi and Kalwadi with us today. How are you folks doing?
Hey, good. Hello.
Welcome, everybody.
You're welcome.
Best Christmas song ever.
Hey.
That's debatable. It's up there.
What's the better one for Kusanagi?
There's a lot. There's the Bing Crosby and
Oh, okay.
the Bing Crosby song with oh god, what's his name? David Bowie that I like a
Okay, how
lot.
about this? It's the best, most recent Christmas song.
I'm just saying there's a lot up there.
Yeah,
But it's
okay.
definitely up there. I'll give Jay that.
All right, so we're going to go to our first topic, which is last week's sneak peek. Let me put the thing up. So I don't know if everyone had gotten to take a look at it, but the subtitles or the titles was "Don't Keep Me Waiting." I did not get a chance to look at what song that's from, so hopefully someone in Twitch chat will be able to say. But yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
I said on Yachtclub last night, I think it's hacking gameplay. Because it allows
okay.
and the sparks, like they're hacking into some power system or something, maybe.
So the URL did say Pyro.
Yeah, Pyro sneak peek.
I'm hoping, like Jade said, it has some kind of aspect of hacking with it. So, and it kind of makes sense with the quotation too. So, yeah, that'll be pretty exciting if it is.
Hoping maybe it's like, to the components inside components. So like your engine is supposed to have subcomponents and your power supply. So because the thing he's sitting in front of looks like the side of it's open. So, but yeah, either one of those would be good with.
I'm stumped. I've been wrestling with this one. I know it's got something to do with Pyro. Yeah, something to do with Pyro. It's a workshop of some type. There's tools on the right, a laptop, person sitting on a box. I tried to see what that was in the background, back in the far back, but because we know so little about Pyro, I'm at a loss. And I kept trying to think about what's being introduced mechanics-wise, and like Jade said, maybe hacking, but, again, it's real vague. I couldn't read anything on the wall, nothing that gave me any clue to what was going on with that one.
That's probably how they wanted it. Yeah, I mean the biggest clue is that Pyro is in the file name, so yeah.
Yeah, they might have got us this time around. The Go Map says a space microwave.
Space microwave. Hey, I could have used one on my Nomad before I melted it, but too late now.
Okay.
All right, so next up, briefly touch on, we crossed the 420 million mark on crowdfunding. Well, I say we, but CIG crossed it. And I just want to give them props and people who all celebrate that number all over the world. So congrats to us for crossing that milestone.
Give Origin 428i, please.
What was the title? What's the total number right now? Do you know, FC?
Yeah, I can look. It's still 420, but
it is 420. Okay.
Yeah, it's 600,000 into it when I last looked this earlier today.
Okay, cool.
So they only made not only, but they made like 600K since they crossed that milestone 3 days ago.
We're at 420,775,408.
Cool.
So they're
Thank you.
Getting to 421 pretty quick.
Gotcha.
All right. So after that, I don't want to spend too long on this, but I thought that this was a great. We normally don't cover Inside Star Citizen Live, but there's so much stuff this past Star Citizen Live. I just wanted to go over a few things because I think this was a great episode. It's very informative, and I'm a ship guy. I know other people may prefer other aspects of the production. But I love hearing about ships and anything about ships. So some of the topics that they covered, and I want to thank Nubafire for making a summary video. The interior of the 600i is underway. Cargo is getting adjusted. The Starfare is also getting some work done. Lacing is not dead. The Polaris interior is done, and the basic loadout has been adjusted slightly. So
can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
What they said about the Polaris was that they actually did some reworking of the ship as well. Not only just the loadouts, but they talked about the hangar being expanded and some other things that they did to it. So, the Polaris kind of, again, because of metrics that were done before, it looks like that ship ended up getting impacted, even though I think that was a 2017 release, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that.
So I'm sure Polaris people will be happy to hear that it got another look, more recently to bring it up to standard. So I'm sure they'll be pretty happy over that.
Some other tidbits said that they spoke about the gold standard. That mainly had to do with bringing old models up to what is needed for current mechanics, including adding closet, increasing the size of corridors, adding components, adding airlock, adjusting where cargo is, and some exterior adjustments needed. And they said that gold standard may not be the highest standard. So they may be getting platinum, diamond, who knows what else after that. So I thought that was interesting. And also, something near and dear to my heart, AI blades are part of the automation, and they're part of the long-term roadmap, which needs computer items to be made first, and then adding code to modify the vehicle system. So this was a jam-packed Q&A from CIG this time.
Except for the guy under Disco who didn't get to talk at all through the whole show.
Oh my god.
Well,
I mean, like he said one word.
Hey, Dark Knight, how you doing?
Hey, DK.
I'm doing okay, guys. I'm doing all right. Good to be here.
Yeah, so anyone else had something they want to talk about regarding the Star Citizen Live from last week?
600i.
See, I was being nice. I didn't even jump in on that. You only got 2 out of 3 voices on that one.
I saw you raising your hand, Griff.
I figured one of you would.
Yeah. One final thing, they said the hex code. They want to implement skins without undermining the soul ship skins, and they're looking to how. I would have thought they would have started that before now, but I guess not.
Do you think they'll prevent like if you buy a paint now, do you think they'll prevent you from creating the same paint?
That's probably just some idea. Like maybe not the same paint, but definitely the design. Like I would love to have a Mustang Omega, but if I can just get a red and black Mustang with different design, I'll be fine with that. That makes sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they plan on doing with custom paints and things like that. And I think you probably hit the nail on the head. It's going to be hard to decide if they're going to say sell or not sell. Well, the best in show paint for this year. Are they going to allow us to create that same color? But if they're going to give a hex code, they have to.
No,
well, they don't have to. They can restrict it. Yeah, they can restrict it still.
They can get the same color, but the design will be different. Like,
right.
I think on the best in show paint, they have don't they have the words on it? So you won't have the words or that specific design.
I don't know. Anybody know on the 600i if they have a statement?
Let me say this. I mean, one of the things, Fastcard, you said that why the hex code isn't something that they've dealt with before. I mean, there's still this evolution of the developing of the game and the engine. And for example, if you go back to when they did the skins a couple years ago, the one that was like the fuchsia color with the white on I have it on the Reclaimer and I have it on my Carrack. Those skins you cannot take off. They're on there. Once you put them on there, they said then if you put them on there, they're on. Where now later skins that they've given us, you have the option to take them on and take them off. So something is changing in the development process that doesn't allow for me to go back to my very first one and even take that skin off now. So my point is that they're evidently, as the development and engine is evolving, I'm sure they can't commit because they talked about that doing the way they did the 300 series won't even work now. And that was previously what we thought they were going to do. So I think there's this evolution. Right, but I think there's an evolution. They said it won't work now. Something has changed in the engine that said it would be too difficult to do that now. So I'm just saying, I guess that's why that's going to come down the road, because as things evolve, I'm sure that's going to be a factor, But I mean, skins and paint right now, It's nice, but
Yeah.
I'm sure GoMab would love for me to say there are better things for them to work on. You know, as much as we like making our ships, unique, and I get that, you know, we do.
And speaking of GoMap, he says screw undermining the money grab skins, I think he meant. Just give folks who bought the skin a credit and be done with it.
Those skins are really expensive.
Yeah,
Like,
$11 for certain.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
No, okay, so the cash is expensive, but if you want to put a skin on a Starfarer and you want to buy a can of paint, it's like 250,000 UEC. Like, it's a lot cheaper just to spend the $10.
That's how much it costs in game?
It's 100,000. Paint's 100,000. It ain't cheap. It ain't cheap.
Wow, I never noticed.
Yeah, Cousin Crows will make you cry when you go over there. Trust me.
Whoa!
I mean, it depends on how much you value your time, because some people may have more time than money. So yeah, like some people may want to spend that $10, $15 on in real money. Some people just want to grind out the money and get it in game. That's the option.
And it's based off of ship size, so I don't think they all cost 200K. And an arrow's like 40 or 20 or something like
that. Okay. We have Pops and Fister also here as well.
Oh, hey, you two.
Hey, guys.
Yeah,
hey, sorry, we're
welcome.
late. Sorry, we're late.
No problem. You had any thoughts on the skin game before we move on?
Or the Q&A from IE.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Okay. All right. So next up, we have the December 2021 subscriber promotion. So to talk about the Argo Mole, and we have the in-game flare reward. I timed it just right. I barely got in under the wire. I managed to get both last month's subscriber reward and this month before my subscription ran out. So yay me!
Good job.
But you get new armor, the Stinger helmet and Molotov aftershock armor. That's the Centurion one. And then you have the Stinger helmet and Molotov terracotta armor for Imperator subscribers. And then people can buy the Stinger helmet and Molotov fuel armor from the subscriber store. So between these, I think I like the yellow one the best, but some people, have different preferences. As far as I am understanding, these are good against, it doesn't say here. I have to click on it. But I think these are good against lightning or preventing stun or shock weapons. That's what I wanted to say. Shock weapons.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I like the design on them, I hate to say this, I'm getting a little bored with their color selections of what they're doing.
I can agree.
I don't know. I mean, the distinctiveness of calling it a certain name just because it has a different color is not resonating with me now. I'd love for it to be a variation of a certain armor, that there's something different about it, because that would compel me to buy all three versus, just because of color. That's what I'm picking it for. And I hope they would start building in certain things that make it could be the same type of armor, but each one have some distinctive use or something about them. That would, for me, that would be a little bit better. But
I can understand the argument for subscriber flare. I think they would want to keep it mostly the same, because otherwise people who aren't the higher tier subscribers will feel left out. So I can understand why I'm doing it for these types for the subscriber armor. But when you pay like $15 for a different armor on the Play Store, then I can see them having more differentiating aspects of it.
Do you think? I mean, apart from time and everything that they spend to make the armor, the colors, do you think they may be making the colors, quote unquote, simple in this way, so that in the end, when we can have the ability to, choose our own colors outside of even the ships and possibly for the armor, they can perhaps have that window or that opportunity where we can pay for those for the more complex versions based on our creations?
I mean, that could be, do you remember the earlier Voyager stuff that they put out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those colors were very, I don't want to say vibrant, but they stood out a little differently to me. These are like very muted, particularly, and actually it has more to do with the fact that there's one that's more the white and one that's more the gray or black, right? And I mean, barring what it looks like is that the undersuit is different. the helmet has a little one has like a gold face to it. The other one has more of a blue thing or whatever. I guess I'm just trying to see them stand out a little bit more than they are. The yellow one's fine, but the two outside ones for me are kind of like eh.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But to your point, you might be right.
Favorite.
But you might be right to keep the flexibility for later on when they want to be able to do more custom. Maybe there is some method to the madness.
I mean, I love the urban camo one, or like a snow one. That's
It's
cool.
polar.
Yeah.
All these new armors bore me. It seems like they keep remaking the same bulky armor with the cod piece. And it's the first thick spacesuit one with the Novikov and the Pembroke. I love that one.
Those are cool.
Yeah, those are really cool to me because like they feel like these are spacesuits, but like now it's just like okay, CIG, we get it.
If Jade can get a like a thick tight with some thick tights with like a fancy A-line skirt with a high slit armor piece.
I'm good with diversity of all the people that like them. I'm glad you like them because we should have more variety. So yeah, I mean we should have it all. But I want them to change it up. So we've had like 4 different armor sets I think that are similar like this. I'm looking to see what they do after this.
The Azatlan armor, you remember that one when it came out? It was really cool armor, but the variations between the 3 were so subtle. Like there's one that's got a little bit of a white tinge to it. The other one's got a little bit of an orange tinge to it.
That's what we're looking at right now.
It literally looks like it's an upgraded version of the Azatlan armor, in a way, but it's bulkier. But
exactly.
It just doesn't have enough of a distinction between the 3. Like the gray one and the white one, they look pretty much the same if you if you're colorblind or you're black and white.
Or it's very dark. You really can't tell if it's very dark. But yeah, I'm with Jade though. I do prefer or like the one from last month, the Pembroke one with the heat protection.
That was cool.
I thought those were cooler. But I mean, some people like these, and more power to them. I'm just glad I got it for free because free armor. Hey, can't complain about that.
Right.
I'm not saying I don't agree with Jade. I'm just saying if I can get an anime female outfit for my character so she can attack dragons, then that's cool too.
Her skirt would just stick straight out in the back, just like that new armor they introduced for the female character model. Like. Come on, CIG. Like, did you not have your QA people use a female character and know that thing just sticks out like a what is it? Like a
looks like a bird. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you get that outfit on, I think you're talking about like the nice outfit from
No, not that. There's I don't know the name of it, but there's a new armor set, and on the male character, the back of it flows. It's got the new fabric tech, right? But on the female character, it just sticks straight out like that new Babbage outfit that you're talking about. Sticks straight out like a ducktail. Doesn't move. And I think it's a bug. I'm pretty sure it's a bug, but damn.
And so they said for lost items, you can reset the character in case you lose something from like subscriber or something you paid for. But that's that's just for now. And when the game releases, they'll probably have a different method of retrieving armor or items that you paid for. But for Ship of the Month, we have the Auger Mole. And it's free to fly for all subscribers throughout this month. That's a big ship. I like that picture of it. That picture definitely shows it. And also the subscriber exclusive pledge promotion. Last month was this month exclusive pledge promotion. If you love the RSI Constellation series, some of these iconic ships are now available with upgraded insurance until the end of the month. So you get the Taurus, Andromeda, and Aquila. No Phoenix today.
Nope.
That's always a limited item. And as always, you get the merchandise discount. And the merchandise store, they're trying to get you to buy more mug, Griffin. I don't know if you can see that on the screen right there. They're trying to get you to buy more.
I already got them.
I can't wait
Well, I
for
already
mine
ordered
that I
them.
ordered at
I mean, I
Citizen
ordered
Con
them.
to
Yeah,
come.
that's what I mean. I ordered them.
When
I
did
don't know
you
why
order
you
yours,
get those
Griff?
mugs. If you could just get
No,
Soul Citizen mugs.
yeah, no, that
There you
yeah,
go.
no,
There
that
you
I
go.
did
Good point.
same time, Jade. I did mine when the 400 came out. Remember they were, you know, when you were
Yeah.
buying it and they popped up there. I haven't gotten mine yet, but I'm still
Okay.
waiting to.
Okay.
Oh, did
Yeah,
you get yours yet, Jade?
No, I didn't get
no,
mine.
they haven't shipped.
Oh,
They haven't
okay.
shipped yet.
We'll
Oh,
get them
okay.
by Invictus.
You know, something I
Next
am
year.
curious about, and I know we'll talk about this later, but the ISC today talked about the Jumptown stuff, and I'm curious if we can find out whether or not, if you still have the Taurus, since we have it for this month, if for some weird reason things go to PTU, maybe not, whether or not we'll find out if the Taurus's smuggling area actually is operable. I'd really be curious to find out if that's the case.
I know the
I haven't heard
MSRs
anything.
isn't.
No, I haven't
The,
heard anything about it.
You said the MSRs isn't?
It isn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard about it. I would be surprised if it was. But hey, who knows? Sometimes they sneak stuff in all the time. So
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying because they're introducing Jumptown, it'd be interesting to see if they activate that. I know, you know, right now we have no way of knowing. Well, we do, like Jade said, we know the MSR doesn't.
Yeah, as of 3/15.
Yeah. Okay.
all right. So next up we have the Load Makers community questions. Just a in-depth article. I skimmed through it. I tried to read through it. One thing that did caught my eye was about the region, but we'll try to go in order. Griffin, you want to read some of these, or you just want to?
Yeah, I can do some of them because we've got a little time. I mean, which one though? Because these are kind of full.
Yeah, the one that I like was the region one about
The region one.
Imperial Addison. Oh, that's not what I
Okay. I'll. Which one you want? Those two?
want. The region. No, let me go.
Do you want the
There we go.
region or you want the Addison?
The
Which one?
Addison. Sorry. Yeah.
The Addison. Okay. Okay. Why is Imperator Addison getting credit for regen? Question. Why does the Lord's Maker's Guide to Regeneration say Imperator Addison in 2949? Addison didn't become Imperator until 2951. Was there some implied time between the sentences? The answer, yes. Regen tech was in development prior to the election of Imperator Addison, but she pushed for its quick adoption across the empire by allocating trillions to make the tech widespread and releasing the Abraham Sphere blueprints so any manufacturer could produce it. Without Imperator Addison's aggressive push to make regen tech available to all, it might have remained limited to only the military and/or the most exclusive medical facilities in the empire. Nice way to work around it.
And I did like how deep is ArtCorp too. That you know, that ArtCorp is one of the, well, I don't want to say, well, we had the social module, so we had ArtCorp in the PTU for a while, not PTU, the baby PU for a while, because that was that was the first implementation. So this one talks about it's common sci-fi trope with the Econopolis planet is stacked on a stack of construction where population is lower level, might never see natural sky. And the question is, do most residents or workers on ArtCorp still have access to the sky? As an aside, do conflict fiction of lore posts have a particular focus on ArtCorp? And they did the link for ArtCorp below the answer. But the answer is, while certain areas of ArtCorp have blocks of skyscrapers that could block the sun from reaching lower levels, people who work and live there wouldn't be restricted to those areas. They'll be allowed to travel to spots like Area 18 that allow them to soak up the sun. Restrictive worker condition and is more of a Hurston thing. ArtCorp actually leases out a lot of the planet to other businesses, for offices, manufacturing facilities. So it would be to their financial benefit if those locations are appealing and contain natural light. So yeah, this whole lawmakers community question thing, they're doing it once a month. So yeah, they have asked the dev thread, so you click on that and you can go to the site and ask future questions. Any comments about something else that people like or caught their eye?
Yeah, our core is not Trantor from Foundation.
I was about
Yeah,
to say
exactly.
And I love the fact that they reiterated that, because a lot of people think of what's the one from Star Wars?
Coruscant?
Coruscant.
Yeah,
I
and
think it's
it's
Coruscant too.
Trantor, but it's not either. It's not like either of those. In lore, it has natural areas still. Not many left, but there's still natural areas, and there's supposed to be oceans, and planetary tech team's going to work on all that. So what you
Yeah.
see with Core right now is not the final product. That's all. That's what I took away.
There's no separation by classism.
Yeah,
like
there's
there are
none of
in those
that
games.
either. Yeah.
I wanted to say, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I like the fact that with this lore makers community questions that they, it's pretty much stating that the lore is still being written. So nothing is completely set in stone. So we're talking about regeneration and, all of this other kind of stuff that people had arguments with when it comes to Death of a Spaceman. They're still writing a lore. It's not set in stone until the game is launched. And even then, there might be more lore added. Right. So it's like, give them time to write the lore that goes behind all of the things that they're putting into the game, such as Death of a Spaceman and other things. There's a backstory to it. They're just writing it. That's it. It takes time.
Well, and other things, everything hasn't been revealed either, right? I mean, just like the explanation they gave here, I understand some people are trying to follow the lore, and I think that the lore team has done a pretty good job with what they have. There may be some, like you said, because of so much stuff over time, some inconsistencies and things that have to connect, but that's no different than regular history for that matter.
Right.
I think that it's an evolution, like you said. It's being developed, and it'll get tighter as we go along. So yeah, give them some space. They'll get it together.
I just like the fact that they're like this whole lore thing. Like 2 of these actually involve the Van Duel. Like the discovered Vanguard system is, which talks about the finding a kingship under construction. They're just trying to put the correct system names that are supposed to be in lore. And then you've got the first one, which is the UEE Nails. It talks about how we might see technology similar to the Nails used against us in the future. So that could be potentially like the Van Duel attacking, like, and try to board like our Idrises or other capital ships or something like that. So it's a really, really cool thing to look at. I can read it if you want, but it's up to you.
No, I think we're okay, but thank you.
Okay.
Up next, we're supposed to go. I'm gonna come to the Odyssey after the celebration, so I'm gonna skip the next topic and come back to it. But next up, we have to celebrate Luminalia 2951. And Jade, how do you pronounce Luminalia?
Luminalia, just like
you just said it.
You just said it. That's exactly how you pronounce
it. You got it right, Fastcart.
Yep.
No, that's what I just want to make sure. Just making sure. So yeah, this is I did a monologue a couple of weeks ago involving Luminalia, and the band were breaking out their ceremonial lamps, and that means it's time to ring in Luminalia once again. So you can grab your gift. They have a description of what Luminalia is and a link to the Galactopedia for more info. And you have the 12 days of gift. So count down the days until Luminalia is with us, starting with this Saturday, December 11th. Visit this section of the Luminalia comlink and click on the link below to receive a small gift every day until Luminalia arrives on December 22nd. So they've got freebies for more freebies than ever this year. So be sure to check back here for each day, and the link is in Twitch chat for people to check that out.
You guys make sure you guys get the gifts. The gifts are worth 1,000 AUEC. So if you pick up 50 gifts, that's 50,000 in AUEC, and you can give them away or collect them or whatever.
Oh, the loot goblins have gone crazy today.
Yeah, they're in those loot crates. So
everybody's broke right now because of the resets. Everybody's trying to get money.
Everybody except Gomab. He's making money hand over fist.
Yeah.
If he could sell weapons, he'd be rich.
Can you imagine your Banu Merchantman fast cart full of nothing but Luminalia gifts?
Hey, that could be a holiday thing once a year. You know, I stock my Banu Merchantman up with Luminalia stuff so people could
Banu
buy
way.
yeah.
Go take those to Pyro and give presents to the pirates because they're not going to get any.
And they'll have a present for him too.
They sure will. A shotgun to the head.
So the spirit of giving, Luminalia brings tradition of exchanging gifts. That they have a picture right there, and they're calling gifts galore. And they have a screenshot contest, so you can click on that for more information. And are they gonna? Okay, well, I can click on it and see what the reward is real quick. First place prize is the Aegis Redeemer with LTI. Second place prize is the Ares Inferno with LTI, and third place prize is the Argo Wrath with LTI. So, yeah, I'm never into those types of contests because I'm not great at taking screenshots. Anyone here gonna participate in that?
Nope.
Yeah, I'll take a pass on it.
Nope.
Maybe.
Well, the good news. Oh, okay. We do have one person, but the good news is Haskar. I think he's retired from entering these screenshot contests. He used to win them all the time, so you have a chance.
he runs his own screenshot contest.
Yeah, he runs his own.
Yeah.
And greetings from your favorite.
I just been learning. Sorry.
No problem. Greetings from your favorite shipmaker. That's another contest. If you design a holiday greeting card with your favorite manufacturer to its loyal customers for a chance to win even more prize. I'll click on that to see what the prizes are. You have first place, you have an Anvil Valkyrie, wow, with LTI. Second place, we have an Aegis Redeemer with LTI, and third place, you have an Origin 400 with LTI. So I'm not an artistic type, so that's not something I'll probably participate in. Anyone else think about making a postcard, holiday greeting card?
Nope.
Yeah, all right. You have discounted starter pack. They do this every year. It's $5 off for most things, or 10% off depending on what this package is. We have the Aurora MR, the Mustang Alpha, Avenger Titan, and the Nomad. It's $10 off. So. And it had 24 months insurance on them. So pick those up and give this to someone there who might be interested in joining the game. And they have discounted subscription passes. So it's a 10% discount for annual passes, not the monthly pass, but just the annual one. So instead of $110, it's $99. Instead of $220, it's $198 for a whole year. And I believe that's it. Nope, there's one more thing. But I don't do the annual thing. I do month by month, or like I just buy 1 month and then I stop. Does anyone do the annual thing? Does anyone interest anyone?
I used to do the annual for about 3 years, and yeah, that was it. Just for about 3 years. I think it was 3 to 4 years.
I did the annual for a year. Yeah. And then now I just do month to month whenever I see something I want.
Yeah, that's what I do. But the great thing about the annual, getting it all at one time, is that they give you your discount code immediately, if I remember correctly. I think I'm 8 months away from my next code. So,
you get more than one? You get more than one code?
No, you only get them for like. Well, I mean, I suppose you could do 2 years in advance, but I don't think that worked. It worked like that. Yeah. What are you going to say, Griffin?
No, what I was going to say is you get it on basically on your anniversary. But what Fast Card is saying is that if you buy it annually, they give you the code right now. Otherwise, you have to wait until a year goes by before you get your subscription code. You get your code.
I thought it was just one code.
1 year per year. You get one per year. You get one per year. You get one per year. If you're doing it that long.
Right.
Now that's continuous, correct? Continuous for 1 year?
Yeah, continuous for 1 year. Uh-huh.
And if you're a Centurion and you move to Imperator, that changes your
Yeah, it shifts because that's what I did. I just changed to Imperator this year because I've been freaking forever, and I just changed this year.
Same thing.
I've been Imperator since I started. I've always wanted the two flares instead of just one. So
yeah, did anyone here get the Pico?
Yeah, getting to that. How do they merchandise? You have the Crusader Industries mouse pad, Ares Ion, and Ares Inferno edition. Those are about $30 pre-order.
Let's skip that. All that stuff is the same as it was, literally. Nothing's changed. It's the same merchandise from whatever it was that just went by.
Yeah,
the prices didn't change. Everything did. There were some things that got discounted, but everything's still the same. They didn't introduce any new products on this either. So
okay, and that's it for the celebrate Luminalia 2951. So now we're going back and hitting up the Q&A for the Miss Odyssey. I think this was going to be take up more time than previous topics, so that's why I wanted to put it off a bit. But yeah, so have everyone had a chance to take a look at this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure did.
Yep.
And anything stand out to anyone? You want to go in order?
I am laughing at the fact that Spectrum and Reddit have gone absolutely ape crap over this darn Q&A, and people are just freaking out about the Odyssey between whether it's a carrot killer or not, and it's just ridiculous the kind of salt that's being thrown around in those forums. It's hilarious.
That one person did state it was a carrot killer, but he was voicing his own opinion, and people can't
exactly
wrap their heads around it.
Exactly, he said, in my mind. And everybody's like, he said carrot killer. And they said, that's a CIG stance. Like, no, that's one person's opinion.
Right.
There's a lot of assuming here. People assuming that it could mine and refine every type of ore, and that you could sell it, and that you could store it.
I was hoping.
Yeah, but see, people created their own box with this.
You're right.
It's because CIG, I'm not trying to defend them, but I didn't see too much in this Q&A that wasn't in the original description. But people wanted to read stuff into it because people want chips to do what they want them to do and not what CIG wants them to do. And we talked about this a couple weeks ago. We all sat here and said that Quantanium would throw the game off balance if that ship could mine other stuff. It is probably just Quantanium because that's all they said in the description. And people barked for 2 weeks. Does it do something? Does it do a list? Can we put the fuel in the cargo bay? All this other stuff. And everything we talked about, the Q&A answered it. And I get it, but people keep forgetting that CIG has the role of the marketing department is to market stuff, both to inform us, but also to sell things. And they were very distinctive about certain things they said. When they said it's the best civilian ship that you could buy, that said something to me right there. They called the Carrack a Pathfinder. They didn't call the ship a Pathfinder. They said it was an exploration ship. And we've made it very clear that exploration has not been defined enough in this game to put your hat on it yet. So, people, I get it, but I'm sorry that there were some people who did the melting and did all the other stuff based on all that. But for some people, they waited. Some people said, I'm going to wait till the Q&A comes out and find out. The ship is still for sale right now.
That was the smartest deal. I think they probably could have put the Q&A out, and somebody actually made this statement on one of those forums, and he said it would have been better if they put the Q&A out as they were releasing the ship.
Yeah,
but I get it, totally get it. It totally makes sense. They could have done it earlier, but then at the same time, you've got the whole, the echo chamber of people in the community that just hear one thing and then they just go down a complete rabbit hole.
Nobody made anybody buy anything.
Right. Exactly. Nobody told you to belt your
anything. It's still for sale.
I had a gun to my head, man.
It's still for sale right now. They
could have waited today and still could have bought it. People apply the CCU and then complain. And it's like, wait, don't you know you could just hold on to the CCU and wait and see before you apply it? And now you got to go back and try and whatever.
I'd almost see it if the ship was ready to fly. You know what I
Right.
mean? And people wanted to
Yes,
get their
yes,
hands on it, but it's
Right.
not even like that ship is coming anytime soon, and people were going
right.
bonkers over it. And I'm like, you know, I mean, for the people, my disappointment was that the sin was considered medium size because I wanted to be able to put a sin inside of it.
Should
But
fit.
they said it doesn't. But
It's the
guess
wings.
what does? The Terrapin does, and I'm happy with that because the
Yeah,
Terrapin's a
yeah,
Pathfinder, and it'll complement that ship for me. You know.
yeah. Let's go over go over the specific ship of which ship will fit in the hangar. So, what are the examples of an excess or extra small ship? An excess generally refers to what the community calls small ships. A non-exhaustive list of ships include the Avenger, the Eclipse, Gladius, Saber, Arrow, Gladiator, Hawk, Hornet, Hurricane, Terrapin, Defender, Mustang, Buccaneer, Herald, Prospector, 100 series, 300 series, Aurora, and Blade. Ships such as the Vanguard, Cutlass, Freelancer, Reliant, and Cultural are too big to add there the next size up. So,
I mean, this is
I'm not really disappointed with that list. Go ahead.
No, it's a good list. A good list. I was just gonna say, like, like what Griff was talking about, they haven't really defined exploration. And when you look at the size of the systems that we're going into, that like the Carrack won't be able to be indefinitely out in a 250 AU system, and this ship has that capability. And so like the Carrack finds an area like, hey, we found some planets over here, and then that thing comes in and then works. And it stays out there for a long time because it can support itself. And I think, it's specifically a survey ship. And if you look at it like that, that's exactly what it is, and it's going to do a great job at that job.
I
So
agree.
I wouldn't say, melt it. I would say, you're probably really going to need it. But so don't. Yeah, the character is going to do one thing, and this is going to do the other, and they're going to fit the roles the way Sig can make them work best.
They're complementary, like I
I
said
was just
last
about to
time.
say, yep.
Yes. Thank you, Jay. I put this definition in our general chat in Discord today. Pathfinder is a person who goes ahead and discovers or shows others the path or the way. An explorer is a person who explores an unfamiliar area, an adventurer. And we've talked about that. We've talked about the cartography, the drones. We've talked about all this stuff. But I'm again, players. We gotta hold back we gotta be a little bit more disciplined because we see something pretty and we jump on it. Then we get mad at CIG.
Well, this comes from the person who brought the 600i when it first started coming out. So, right, I'm messing with you, Griff.
No. You don't have to mess with me because guess what? I was never one of the people that complained about the 600i's layout. To this day, you've never heard me say that, oh, the 600i's got too much space. I need to fill it up. I'm completely happy with that ship.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to the rework. No, you've never heard me complain about that ship. Nope. I've said it could be better, but I never had buyer's remorse about it. Never had buyer's remorse.
That's different, right?
Yeah, I don't have buyer's remorse, but I did spend too much RSI credit on when I upgraded. I didn't use any Warbond CCU, so I went back. I melted the Odyssey, and then I went back and spent the $50 on some Warbond, so it'll be like $420 or something like that for me instead of $700. But
and by the way, just to show you I don't have buyer's remorse, I own both 600s.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say. I started upgrading again, but I stopped at the 600 because the Odyssey is not in game yet. I stopped at a ship that is actually in game, even though it's Origin. But hey, what can I do, right?
It's cool.
Man, when that 600 rework comes out, people are going to be so salty because they'll be like, I should have got that ship and la 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 la. And it'd be like, well, you know what? We told you.
Well, I mean,
and now look, I should have melted it.
The good news is, I think CID learned from this IAE that having like TCU war bonds and stuff like that is a good way to bring in some money. So I mean, just wait on this time next year, or like November next year, and you'll be able to get the 600i for not cheap, but at a discount.
Oh, the price will probably go up, I'm sure. Because what is it now? 400?
475.
475. I expect it to hit 525 by probably next year.
Yeah,
after the workout. Yeah, probably go up a bit.
Yeah, okay.
The Odyssey is a capital ship, and people like forget that. Like it's got capital components, and it's like $700. Like or was it Warp 1 625? So that should go well over $1,000, maybe even like $1,250 or something like that. So I mean, who knows what? I mean, because they might increase the size of it because, it's like, oh, it's a little bit bigger than the Carrack, blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, what happened to every other ship that was, X size?
True. I don't. If it does get bigger, I don't see them going like exorbitant like the measurement. I think it'll probably only get like maybe 5 to 10 meters bigger or wider or something like that. I don't see them going like adding
Yeah, I
50
would
meters
agree.
to it.
Right. Because they have to like put the refining system in there, which is a new system. And, that type of, the technology that they don't have in game right now. So it could get bigger. I don't see them doing a Carrack where they actually shrunk the ship. Like, the Carrack was a certain size and it got bigger. Then like, oh, wait a minute, we're supposed to reverse that and make it smaller. I think this would probably get like, a couple feet bigger, if anything.
All right. Any other thoughts before we move on about the Odyssey Q&A? Did anyone see anything that they are disappointed at?
Nope.
Or something that was
No.
unexpected? No? Okay.
No, it's about what I expected when I bought it. Just clarified it. A few questions I had, but I pretty much expected it to be what it is.
Because you do what you bought, right?
Exactly. This is the key, people who don't theory craft. Get your head canon going about what it might be able to do. Read what they say it can do when they do that marketing, and don't look beyond that. Just look at what they tell you, and if that appeals to you, buy it. If it doesn't appeal to you, wait. If you got a CCU, don't apply it until you have more information. That's all.
Just to defend myself a little bit, I did have a question about whether or not it could refine more than Quantanium, even though it specifically said Quantanium, because it was the first day of the sale, and I was reading it and like, so is it only going to refine for Quantanium? And like, so yeah, so that's what we find out. I'm not disappointed by that though. So,
listen, I talked to Chris Roberts. I talked to Chris Roberts every week, and I told you it wasn't going to do it. You just didn't believe me.
All right.
That's
I'm
good.
disappointed. I'm disappointed that you didn't believe me. Okay. My feelings are hurt.
Jet Heller had a good question. He says if Squadron 42 comes out late next year, do you think we may be seeing a reduction in concept ships going up for sale, or will concept ships become even more expensive as CIG have stated they do not want to make revenue via ship sales? Good question, Jet.
I think ships will get more expensive until they stop selling ships that's my theory crafting. They stop selling ships when Star Citizen comes out. Goes like 1.0 instead of like out of beta and out of alpha. Because then they'll just I'm guessing they'll just be relying on the starter packs. But they will still probably sell like the 45 or the like $60 starter pack instead of 45 because they'll go up in price and go on up until maybe the Constellation Andromeda, which is the highest starter pack, I believe, at the moment. So I think those will still always be on sale, but they stopped selling standalone ships. That's my impression. I may be wrong.
That's a good point.
I kind of want them to keep selling ships. I got bases to maintain and XYZ and stuff like that. If I could save some time in the game by spending an extra $50 for a land vehicle or $200 for a ship, then I don't mind doing that. And support the game to keep it, moving forward and creating new content. I have no issue with that.
I would like them to only, when the game launches, only sell new concepts. So in other words, the stuff that would be in game, like now that we both buy in game and with real money, would only be purchasable in game. But new stuff that they're introducing would
I
be,
agree with that.
yeah.
I can agree with that too. Yeah.
I don't see them selling. I think they'll probably slow down concept ships after Star Citizen launch, or just stop it altogether. That's just my impression. I could be wrong. Probably am wrong. I don't see them. I think they'll just be relying on the sale of the game. Squadron 42 and Star Citizen at that point. Because at some point they're gonna stop issuing CCUs. Like that will become I think in the past, and the CCUs that we do have in our hands at the moment will get refunded or deleted if they are free CCUs.
Hi there, Rain.
Hey,
Yeah, hi, Ray.
what's going on?
Ray.
I think their statements about how they want to continue to fund this game are incredibly naive. Considering they want to hire another 1,000 people, and we've seen, yes, they've made record-breaking, revenue the last few years, but before that, they've been very, very close to the red line. They operate on a burn rate that is not conducive to a sustainable business. I was part of a studio that had 20 people in it, and our burn rate was millions of dollars a month for just 20 people. So I hate to be the person that always does this, especially, with Gomab not here, but I think any speculation or theory crafting as to what they may or may not do moving forward with monetization for the project is incredibly naive. We are talking about a studio that wants to have 1,700 people employed, with living wages, and the amount of money necessary to keep that running on a yearly basis is astronomical. We're talking about quite literally hundreds of millions of dollars a year to run this studio. And so they're going to need to continue to do things that make money and the way that they're making money now. And I think to say anything else is just incredibly naive. And I'm sorry if that upsets people, but I lost my job 2 years ago because we had people say the same thing about a studio of 20 people that ended up becoming a studio of 8 and then ended up going bankrupt. So I don't know. I just want to be the person that comes in here and goes, if you think that they're gonna stop doing what they're doing now, I think that is just absolutely naive. So,
Wait, Ray.
I'd like to throw 2 cents in on that. I'm not sure if it's naivete as much as it is we don't know what the business model will be in the future.
That's true.
Squadron 42. I think right now I just noticed this past week that now Squadron, if you buy it now to get access to it, is $45 to get into the game. If it goes to a standard price of $60 per unit or $59 per unit, and if the game is successful, and not to mention any other ventures that CIG could open up to bring in revenue, and I mean, it's everything from cosmetics on down. I think that I get what you're saying. They're going to have to maintain some form of consistent revenue, right? Something that's reliable and not just something that can fluctuate. Yeah.
If let's say we have 1,700 people working at all the studios at CIG, and we're playing them a fat. Everybody that works there, we're just playing them all a flat $50,000 a year. That's $85 million a year to run that.
That's assuming that the studio stays at that size, because CIG has gone up and down, and studios will adjust their numbers on how many people are employed, right?
So they just said they wanted to hire 1,000 people over the next few years.
But my point is that new studio that they're opening up could ultimately become the studio, and the other ones could shut down, because the need for the 24-hour studios could disappear once this has gone out of beta and once they have moved to Squadron 42. So the demand of having studios globally may no longer be needed at that point. And now the studio reduces down to support both Squadron 42, its next chapters or its next parts. And again, I'm not disputing you as much as I'm saying there's so much in their business model is, I'm saying their business model is 5 years past what we're looking at right now, 10 years past what we're looking at right now. And none of us know. But I'm agreeing with you on your point that no matter what they do, they've got to generate consistent money if they want the studios to sustain and reliable, right? It can't be just because
they've got to sell 1.2 million units of Squadron.
There you go,
42.
right? Because what was it, 14? They made a profit of 14 million last year.
They made a profit of 14.
But even then, like you said, with the expansion and everything else that's going on, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to start licensing stuff out, tools through Amazon or what they're going to do. But they've got to figure out something to bring in the money you're talking about, because that's a lot of money. That 14 million.
Just the small studio that I was working on, when we fired half the studio, we lost half the studio. and we went from 22, I think, at max down to 8. And even at 8, we were at a situation where our burn rate was more than we could handle on a monthly basis, and we had to sell on almost a monthly basis 30,000 units of a game every single month, and that was not possible, and the studio went bankrupt. So it's just I just feel like I need to bring a little reality to people that haven't worked in the industry and don't realize that, like, we're talking literally $100 million a year here to keep this project running, and people are already talking bullshit about outside of the Star Citizen community. But, oh my God, 400 million. Yeah, how much money has EA made? How much money does it take to run Blizzard?
Billions.
Billions.
$1 billion a year,
billions,
right?
So, that's right. That's right.
So are you guys telling me that CIG isn't sitting on $400 million of cash in the bank?
No, they're not.
Are you serious?
No,
oh my God!
Dark Knight, to your point, they have said that in the past they said that if they stop making gathering money like today, they would be set for 6 months. So they do have some savings about.
They have reserves.
Oh yeah, they probably got a couple tens of millions in reserve just to hold in case something does happen, and they still have to pay their employees and insurance and la 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 la.
This is why I've been pushing. I've just been pushing subscriptions, for per account. If you want to play the game, the best game in the world, then you should pay $20-$30 a month per account.
Yeah, but they've said, though, Admiral, straight up, they're never going to do subscriptions to play the game. You buy the game. That was part of the original pitch, wasn't it, Griff?
Yep, that's right.
You buy it, you own it.
You just hit it on my head, and that's the difference between with Eve and when other games. What's the other game we play? ESO. I mean, they've got this revenue stream that comes in from monthly subscriptions that some people play, some people don't play the game for 6 months, and they're still paying it. And there's a lot of revenue that's driven that way. And like Rain is saying, there's a lot of money that needs to be driven beyond even the money that we have to sustain the studio, even where it is right now, let alone when they do expand to the higher number. So I'm always been curious as to when I heard them say, oh, we're not going to have subscriptions. I'm like, well, there's only so many skins you can sell. But then look at Elite. Look at Elite. Oh, right, land claims, right. But Elite, right. I mean, Dark Knight, Elite, they clean up all that.
They clean up.
Cosmetic stuff they sell is unbelievable. I can't believe how much people buy that stuff.
You got like 20 or 30 skins for one ship. Yeah, it's not that good either. But they make money with those skins and stuff that you can get and cosmetics and all sorts of other stuff without having subscription for Elite. It's amazing how much money they
Be nice, JJ. Be nice. Be nice.
Yeah, be nice, JJ. I almost timed out, but I decided not to. But
it's okay.
You play both games.
We know JJ's being humorous, but be nice.
Well, I mean, the thing here is Frontier Developments, as of 2021, was operating on $120 million a year for 680 employees. That was as of the 31st of August in 2021. So Frontier Developments was operating on 90 million British pounds. Their operating income was 38 million and their net income was 19 million. And they have about 6 or 7 titles plus more titles on the way. So at a studio of 680 people, we're talking $120 million a year to run Frontier Developments. Not let alone CIG won a studio twice that size. I know. I just feel like I really want people to like take a step back and be like, we're talking $100 million a year to keep this project running forever.
There are other revenue streams though, Rain. Like we sometimes don't think of the IP that they're developing, right? So like we said it. Yeah, if Squadron takes off, there's all these spin-off things that they could do, right? They could do a Squadron 42 film. They could do, a chain of Big Benny's restaurants, since people are so fanatical about that. But there's so many things that the fish rings could become a real life
I'm
thing.
sorry, I don't see Squadron selling 12.5 million copies like Skyrim did. I don't.
We don't know. We don't know. Like, how many million copies did Cyberpunk sell?
Oh, about 8-9 million.
Okay, all right. And
we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know because, like I said, they're developing not just a game but a sci-fi franchise, right?
I know. I know that. I didn't mean to start nothing, but
no, you didn't.
No, you didn't start nothing. Those are real numbers. Those are facts. You're giving us good facts to be. You're giving us sobering, real facts of things to consider.
Yeah,
that they're going to have to. They're going to have to. If we want to see the longevity of this game, it's one thing to run it year to year, but if you're saying we're thinking about this game being around 10 years from now, you do have to ask the question. Okay, there's no subscription model, so how are they going to fund all this? It's a serious question.
I've always been on an impression that, you know, when the game goes live, Squadron 42, or, well, particularly when Star Citizen go live, they will let people go. Or maybe, you know, do something with the people. But I think they will, just my impression from other game companies, after they go live, some people will move on to other projects. But that's just my naive thinking.
They have 123 job openings on the website right now, so go apply if you want to work for them. That's all I'm saying. And then that's those job openings. The first question
they let go when the time comes, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I just kind of wanted to, broach that subject.
No apologize. No apologize. No.
Like you said, GoMap's not here, so.
And I'm like, you all know me by now. I'm like 99%. I'm the one that comes in here all positive and happy and everything, right? But on this one, I was like, well, no, not today. So
yeah, it's fair and balanced. Keep it fair and balanced. That's good stuff.
Fair and balanced.
Well, 90% positive to 10% negative is not exactly fair and balanced, but I'll try.
It's good. Now you gave some good stuff.
Oh, Seven there, the poets. How you doing?
Hey, hello, everybody.
Oh, hey, the poets.
I saw the party going on, and I thought I would grace you all with my presence.
Oh, we're happy to have you.
Yeah, no,
I love the energy. I love the energy.
Well, actually, you know what? FC, I'm going to duck out for a minute. I'm going to do my transition so the poet's deep voice can replace mine, and I'll be back in a bit, okay?
Okay. All right. So we're going to continue on and go with this week's Inside Star Citizen. So let's go start with that.
There's a type of vehicle in Star Citizen which is very unique and has the potential to really be a special, fast, visceral experience that just you can't get with a lot of other vehicles. And so the Gravlev experience is going to really go a step up with this. The current state of Gravlev is a little rough. We have such a wide variety of planets that the existing Gravlev just doesn't cope particularly well in a lot of the common situations you might find on planets. And so we have it getting stuck on geometry and being flung into space and glitching into things and having all sorts of hilarious physics bugs that may be funny, but they don't really make the experience very fun or enjoyable. So this quarter we finally got time to really dive into Gravlev and really figure out what it's going to take to make it what we really want it to be. One of the first things we focused on with Gravlev is this new specialized suspension system, which is a little bit like a car, but it's doubly disconnected from the bike to make it really feel like it's hovering. The largest benefit we've gotten from this new suspension system is we can orient and move the bike somewhat independently of the suspension in ways that we were never able to do before with the old Gravlev. The next step is to use this new suspension system to implement a whole host of improvements to the stability of the bikes. So they're not going to bottom out, they're not going to bump into the ground, they're not going to crash off rocks and lose control, they're not going to go flying off into space, which really makes the whole experience much smoother, much less glitchy, much more reliable. So once we've got this super stable suspension implemented, we can implement some improvements to the actual control of the bike. So the turn friction for making maneuvers is improved, and we can also implement things like better height control, and that will have differences in the handling of the bike that you can feel a lot more than you used to be able to. And they've implemented is a thing called anti-fall, which effectively kicks in to arrest the bike's fall when you fall from a great height. So if you do big jumps off dunes on Daymar, the bike doesn't crash into the ground now. When you get back to the ground, it much more aggressively stops itself and prevents itself from crashing. last but certainly not least, we have this amazing feature where if you power off the bike or you get off the bike, the suspension will intelligently sort of relax the bike down. And similarly, when you get on the bike, it will softly ramp in the suspension so the bike will sort of softly lift up and you're ready to go on your adventure. I'm hoping that the combination of all of these new features and improvements really make this a lot better, and it's been a personal hope of mine for quite some time that I've been able to do this rework, because Gravlev just has such potential for such amazing moments, and I know when it's used, for example, in the Daymar Rally, it's just such a cool sci-fi vehicle, and it's been my wish for quite some time that we can make that experience, you know, as good as it can get.
These new Gravlev improvements coming online in Alpha 3.16 aim to finally fulfill the unique promise inherent in vehicles like the Dragonfly, the Nox, the X1, and the upcoming... coming up next, let's look at the...
Alright, so we're going to put that on repeat. We're going to go in order, so that's just the first half. We could take care of the second half in a bit. So, Amakusnagi, what are your thoughts about Gravlev?
I'm looking forward to it greatly. I've got all three of the Gravlev vehicles. I think the Dragonfly was like my first or second ship in the game. I got the yellow one, and even though I've flown the Nox, you know, recently, it would be great to see what it's like with this new system. I can't wait. It looks really good.
The Poets.
Yeah, I haven't flown any of the hover vehicles really, but I am hoping that this one that he hasn't really spoken about is kind of like a hover tank, kind of like the Mag Rider in PlanetSide 2. I think that would be a nice addition. Because I'm new to Star Citizen, I started playing basically when 3.15 came alive, and it seems like there's not really gameplay for it yet, but it's going to be coming down the line. I definitely feel that. And the only real use I've had for ground vehicles overall is, you know, when a base is like shooting my ship from a distance, and so I just want to land from a distance and then, you know, go in using a ground vehicle. But I know with the, you know, other systems coming out, this will definitely have a good use. So I'm glad they put time and effort into making this a nice, smooth vehicle experience, though.
Cool. Thank you. Dark Knight.
So I'm going to echo what Baylor said. Better late than never. And I'm glad that they got it done and are putting it in here. And I'm looking forward to playing around with the Nox now, that I can actually play around with it and not fall off or flip over or whatever, blow up and everything else. And I could put it on my 400 until the X1 comes out. So there you go. But I think this is great, and it's really cool that they mentioned a Daymar Rally, because the Dragonfly is like one of the most capable ships or vehicles with that particular race, and maybe now it'll open it up to other vehicles like the Nox might be able to actually participate, because obviously I'm sure Jade will tell you it's tragic right now until they get this Gravlev in game, and they're showing the Nox a lot. So obviously that might have been one of those things. They're like, the Nox needs to work. If we're going to get the X1 to work, the Nox has got to work too. So
yeah, I'm going to take a quick poll from Twitch chat. How many people in Twitch chat have a bike or a speeder or some kind of Gravlev vehicle? So let us know in Twitch chat. Face to face, what do you thought about the Gravlev or the first half of ISC?
Cool. Glad it's getting an update.
Do you have any vehicles?
Nope.
All right. Jade, I know you got some thoughts about this.
Oh yeah. So let me preface this by saying that I'm somebody who finished a Daymar Rally in the bike division in the second Daymar Rally, riding a Dragonfly, and somebody who's been in Dave Coulson's ear, along with a lot of the racing community, about Gravlev changes. And this, what you're seeing here from him talking about these changes, is the result of, I think, about since 2018, he's been listening to us as far as what we didn't like about Gravlev, and all of what he's talking about there is a direct response. That thing where it slowly rises up or slowly goes back down, that's really good for getting a bike in and out of a vehicle. If you think about it, because right now the way the bikes are in 315, when you get on them and you turn them on, they go straight up. They're hard to get out of a cutlass or in and out of a cutlass. So yeah, bikes have been a hot mess since 3.0. And I feel like what I'm seeing here is they're finally coming into their own, in terms of not just being, these novelty vehicles that are kind of fast sometimes and death traps a lot. So I'm really happy with what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, and it just goes to show you that CIG does listen to the community on, changes to flight models, changes to how ground vehicles work. And I'm really happy it's happening before the Daymar Rally.
Cool. Cloud, what are your thoughts?
I'm very, very admirable about their persistence with regards to improving the Gravlev tech, because since I've been much younger, since I was like 11 years old growing up, I've played a few games that kind of try to mimic the whole Gravlev experience, and it's difficult for CIG to get an idea and draw inspiration from it. So I'm really, really glad that they're continuing to iterate on it. I'm very impressed by the whole double disconnected kind of thing, because it kind of means that it kind of untethers the bike from a single response to the ground, so it kind of makes like a second degree of freedom. So more degrees of freedom, the better. Well, in some cases, in this case, it creates a more accurate response, and it's nice to see that it's responding better compared to what we had coming up to this point. So it's nice to see. It's really, really nice to see this coming online, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them iterate it further until they're totally sure that that's the right experience.
All right, thank you. Pops, what are your thoughts?
I agree with the poet that the what's next is when I saw it, when I saw the rework. What kind of vehicles are they going to work on? Alien vehicles. I know I've thought about a brand new land vehicle. Just looking forward to seeing what other land vehicles they come out with that may have something similar to this. Maybe not exactly, but yeah, looking forward to it, because I know this has to do with something else.
I guess they may take another look at the Tumble Ranger or the wheeled vehicles, but who
Right.
knows?
Yeah.
Rain, how about you?
Tech-wise, back to positivity, Rain. Tech-wise, this is brilliant. Double disconnect it's fantastic, because we're looking at non-rigid body situations here that completely decouple the bike from the concept of like a normal suspension system, which is a rigid body attachment to the vehicle, and of course wheels touching the ground. It means that the bike can basically move independent from its concept of suspension in the ground. And we can see that, of course, the bike is reacting in real time. In their editor, we can see like its dampening ratio and friction, and its acceleration, desired velocity, bank angles, all kinds of stuff like that is reacting in real time and updating in real time. And the little triangle you can see under the bike is probably the propulsion as well, because it's facing toward the front of the bike. And just like Jade and everybody else said, the fact that we now have the space and control to rise and lower the bike, and can't brain. It's 13 hours of Final Fantasy today.
Having fun,
but,
I take.
Yeah, I just finished and got kicked off the server when I finished. So right into a 3,200 person queue. Anyway, no, this is all fantastic. I can't wait for this, because I love the concept of Gravlev, but I don't love them as they exist right now. So really looking forward to this.
Rain, let me ask you real quick. Does this technology allow them to let you drop out of space with this vehicle and like come into atmosphere without getting destroyed as you get closer to the ground?
You stole one of my comments. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I would assume so with what I'm looking at, like, pausing on my own end and looking at the editor and looking what they're doing and that anti-fall system. I would imagine that anti-fall system would do exactly what they said it would do and would kick in at a certain rate to decelerate the bike before it impacted the ground. And I imagine, since they said they don't want the bike to be able to bottom out like they do currently, because they will bottom out, which you would think Gravlev wouldn't do that. I would imagine you would be able to do a drop and the bike would survive the impact, but we'll have to test it in 316 PTU.
So basically, you're gonna be like Lobo coming into a planet. On a bike.
I get that reference. No,
yes.
my thought was
Lobo. Anyway.
My thought was like if you're coming out of a cargo or like of a Cutlass or some other vehicle from space, we were able to land safely on the ground. In the past, like 4 or 5 years ago, CIG has said that they didn't want people who are riding a bike in space to be able to land on a planet. There's some kind of restriction that they wanted to put into that. I don't know if they changed their mind, but I'm hoping they will. But the thing about bikes is that even if they have a shield, the re-entry from the heat may kill a person. But I'm talking about like maybe like miles up inside the atmosphere would be able to land on the ground.
Well, you can already do. Sorry.
Go ahead.
You can already do hot drops, like we've done it in the Skunkworks a lot. You put something in the back of a Valkyrie, and a couple kilometers off the ground at speed, and you roll it right out the back, and it handles just fine because the suspension systems on like the Cyclones, for example, Cyclones, is that what they're called?
That's the wheel one.
Yep. Yeah, the wheel one. Yeah, are fantastic and can handle that impact at speed. So. I imagine the bike will be able to do that would be something that I would look forward to is, doing that kind of testing, like, having a high speed ship and having bikes come out the back of the ship at speed, with people on board and things like that, like doing a hot drop. I think that'd be really fucking cool really cool to see.
The other thing I liked was that there's no more flying off in space if you hit a rock. That was a thing. I had a Dragonfly, Yellow Jacket Dragonfly, and yes, that was a problem for that vehicle. But for me, I melted all of my vehicles. I had about 6 vehicles at one time. I had the 3-pack for the Tumble Ranger. Because I love the concept and design of that. I also had a Dragonfly, I had a Knock. I did not have an X1, but I had a Ursa Rover for my Keeler, but I no longer have the Keeler, so I no longer have the Ursa Rover. So I am vehicle free at the moment. That may change in the future, but I'm thinking I'll probably get them all in game when it becomes available, because spending $45 on a ship that's more like 500K UEC, I probably just get the money in game and just get it in game.
I was kind of weighing that option myself because a lot of these vehicles are so inexpensive just to get in game. I was thinking, unless it's something special, like limited type of thing, concierge or special skin or something like that, might as well just get it in game.
Yep.
Yeah, the Nox in game is probably the most expensive, and I think that one only runs like 350 grand in AUEC right now.
Yeah, and that's almost a full rock run right
Yep.
there with
Sure
that.
is. Yep.
Although those UEC prices are subject to change, because I remember when the
Oh, they
Dragonfly
will.
was only 74,000. So yeah.
Yep. Oh,
There's
it'll
the
change.
Nox Q. So there's actually 2 versions of the Nox, and one is limited.
Yeah, one is
so
limited. I
it
had
does
the
come
limited
out
one.
limited. Yeah.
So I still have my all in my backpack, thankfully. So if I change my mind, I probably won't. But I have the 3-pack for the Tumble Ranger, the real bicycle, and I have to like hold on to my wallet every time I pass by that in my backpack. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, after IAE, my wallet's in the graveyard somewhere. So
You can't resuscitate it. You can't give a CPR or anything.
No. It needs a tier 1 med bay, something like that.
Actually, Panther had a good point. It's like we're on AUEC prices right now. When we go to UEC, everything's going to change.
I don't think
prices are going to go up.
Yeah, in my opinion, either the UEC prices will go up, or the way that we make money, our rate of making money will decrease. So I think they'll probably keep. In my opinion, they'll probably keep the UEC prices the same and just make our income lower. But
it'll still be all relative, though. Like, these vehicles are so small, they're going to be some of the cheapest things in game, period.
Absolutely. Yep.
Any final thoughts about Gravlev? All right, so let's move on, get to the second half of
Let's look at the return of the Jumptown Wars, also coming in Alpha 3.16.
When Jumptown 2 activates, there are now 3 drug labs where this event can happen. Jumptown, Raven's Roost, and Paradise Cove, to create a much more engaging, persistent universe. What is Jumptown 2.0? It's the event that we're putting out that is the officialization of a community event that happened a few years ago, where due to a bug, a location became immensely profitable that was also very conducive to player versus player combat. We are now taking that concept and turning it into a much more developed mission that we are officially supporting. When Jumptown 2 activates, a mission will be distributed out to players. This mission comes in 2 varieties. One is the criminal side and one is the lawful side. If you are actively having a crime stat, you will see a notification popping up letting you know that Rudo has contacted you, and he wants to sell you some information on a really lucrative drug opportunity. The big thing here is that when you go and collect these for Rudo, you will take those drugs and sell them at Grimhex. For the legal side of things, when you are confiscating that contraband, you are going to be taking them back to the lower Earth orbit station for that security company and selling it to their admin office. We have actually put in some new tech that makes it so that while you are contracted for that security company, any police that pull you over will see that you have this contraband, but also that you have a temporary license for carrying it because you have been deputized. And so they will tell you to just go on your way.
Attention. Please come to an immediate halt and hold for your vessel to be scanned. All right. Everything checks out. Feel free to go.
Another is that we added the ability for the shops where you can sell these things to be modified during it, so that you won't be running out of inventory anytime soon during a fire sale like this. The general flow of the mission is as follows. You will see a notification popping up informing you that you have a mission available. When you accept that mission, you will receive 2 markers. One marker will be pointing you to a location where you can sell the drugs. The other marker will be pointing you to a drug lab where those drugs are being automatically produced every X amount of seconds. It's worth noting that you don't need to have a mission in order to interface with this event. It's just that these markers are the benefit of accepting the mission. During that time, everyone else on the server is also aware of this high-value location, and it is very likely that they will be landing and contesting you doing so. Since the original Jumptown, there have of course been a bunch of changes to the Persistent Universe sandbox. We have tanks, we have ballistas, we have ground vehicles galore. We also have a whole bunch more dropships and varieties of ways to assault these drug labs. And as a result of that, we wanted to do a bit of an update to the gameplay spaces that they provided. Jumptown 2 is set to release with 3.16.0. We're going to be running it on a schedule during winter break. We're really looking forward to seeing you all get to kill each other and steal a whole bunch of drugs during this, and we hope that you have a great time with this little callback to a great moment in Star Citizen history.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that there's a new and exciting second life for our Gravlev vehicles on the way. That Jumptown will be joined by Raven's Roost and Paradise Cove for lucrative business opportunities and exciting new PvP encounters alike. And that if you want to learn more about the upcoming, you should follow along with this year's exciting Luminalia festivities. Yes, it's an exciting time for celebration and giving thanks, and we're going to do both with our community beginning today. Check out the RobertSpaceIndustries.com website for more details. I'm Jared Huckabee. This is Inside Star Citizen. I said that backwards. We'll see you all next week.
All right, then. I'll put that on repeat. Welcome back, Griffin. So let's start from the middle. Face to face. What are your thoughts about Jumptown and the changes? And have you experienced Jumptown 1.0?
Wait, sorry, with that last part, say that again?
Did you experience Jumptown 1.0?
No, I wasn't around when at that time.
Okay. So what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, Fist and
as
Pops
far as
weren't
my
around.
thoughts, yeah, we weren't around at that time. As far as my thoughts on 2.0, I'm looking forward to it. You know, I like what he said at the end. He's looking forward to us killing each other, so I will not disappoint.
Yeah. All right, Jade, how about you?
Yeah, I'm a Jumptown Wars veteran from Jumptown 1.0, and I'm loving a lot of what I'm seeing, like how they redesigned these, like Jumptown and the other drug labs. There's a bunch of things there that aren't in 315 yet. So like, there's places where you have cover. There's places where you can fire up on a roof. That's not in. So I'm looking forward to that stuff to be there. And I guess the biggest thing I'm wondering about this is, will the refresh rate for the drugs be what it was back in the 1.0 days? Because you could take a caterpillar and load it up with drugs. And I'm seeing, here they're using a Avenger Titan. I'm just wondering if the refresh rate on those drugs isn't that high, it won't necessarily be as attractive for a lot of people as Jumptown 1 was. But, I'm just waiting. I can't wait. I hope they can tweak it as it goes along. They don't see a lot of people going there. I hope they can tweak it, maybe even change the payouts to be more even between the lawful side and the unlawful side, so you don't have everybody just playing as criminals, because that's the one that pays out the most.
I have a question before you get to Colorado, but Jade, when you first announced Jumptown 2.0, you had a lot of reservations. Have this episode or this update alleviate a lot of your reservations?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. Because like what he said is, you don't have to accept that mission in order to take part. Like, and we know they just announced where those locations are. So we know a lot of people will just go to those locations to buy the drugs to then go sell. The big reservation I had about Jumptown 2 was, by making it an event that everybody knows about, it takes away some of the mystery of it. But if they could, just hide the markers. I didn't see that. Hide the outpost markers, and then you only get the marker if you accept the mission. And if you're one of those people skillful enough that can find it by eye, and you don't need those markers, then you can go in, even when they're not sending the marker out to everybody, but you could go out and buy those drugs with no competition, or very little, because not that many people will know where all these locations are by eye.
All right. Colorado, what are your thoughts? Jumptown 2.0, or did you participate in the first one?
I did, and I'm really excited about the concept of it, the second iteration. I have some concerns, not because of the event itself, but because of its placement. But firstly, I'll keep it really brief. To kind of add to what Jade said with regards to her thoughts into how quickly the reload times maybe if they're too slow. Keep in mind that the cargo is actually going to be physicalized in this case. So even if they're a little slow, us having to physically put the cargo into the ships may not make the refresh rates too much of a problem. But I guess all of us will see when that time comes. But my concern is Oh, okay, so some things were learned and some things were observed during events like Xenothreat, right? Where, for instance, we would sometimes see players, some may call them trolls, others may call them ingenious, literally suicide running into some of these other ships. They could have been lawful, which would have helped them to get access to the locations first. Now, my main concern, and this could only be mitigated when we actually start testing it, Jumptown 2, is the lack of equilibrium between the FPS side and the fact that it's so exposed. Because, for example, a really simple example can be someone who goes to the location with an A2 and literally bombs the place, right? That's ingenious because they're literally making it making it difficult for someone else to load the cargo physically, because again, it's physicalized cargo. But the thing is, imagine the consistency if a group of players finds the location and uses their ships to literally ram or push the ships that are being used to physically load the cargo repeatedly. What's going to happen to the flow or that experience that we learned during Xenothreat? I say that's because while it's natural in game because they have the freedom and I'm not mad at them, what other contingency measures should other players have? Because the thing is, remember that we are flying on moons. We can't use torpedoes to stop these ships from doing this unless we have a blanket of other ships that's blocking the ship that's being that's loading the cargo, to keep the rammers from ramming the ship or something. So I'm very curious about the contingency measures the defending ships or the defending players will have to stop these other ships from doing that, because I found that, okay, when I first heard of Jumptown 2, I imagined, all right, we have potential bombing ships, we have such an open area. I was of the assumption that Jumptown 2 will make use of the caves that have these larger entrances. So, for example, it will increase the equilibrium between the FPS side and the open area side, so that when you land in these caves, you'd actually load the cargo, etc., but you'd still have to defend that entrance so that anyone who has access to a ship or so, they will still be able to hinder you. So I just find it a little unbalanced. They focused a little too much on the FPS side of things, and yes, the FPS side of things, I'm really liking the improved design in terms of the FPS side, but it still feels a little too open when it comes to someone else flying around or a group of people flying around. So again, we'll just have to see when we start testing, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay. Pops, what are your thoughts?
Oh man, I was really, really excited to about it. But one of the things that really gets me, we're in an alpha, and they took something that somebody in game invented, maybe a couple people sitting around, and now the developers have actually put a whole event in the game because of that. And I think that is so cool.
And this isn't the only one they're doing it. Well, something similar will happen for Operation Pitchfork, and we take on the Van Duel at the end of beta, which is that's what the plan is. So yeah, stuff like that is already becoming and going into the lore, as they say. So yeah, that is neat.
Yeah, I think it's such a big. You think of it now for oh man, we're just gonna run around find bugs, but they're listening and then they're involving things and we're really truly contributing, and you can actually see it right before your eyes.
Wayne, how about you? What are your thoughts?
Finally, something for the so-called PvPers that spend their time circling Port Olisar and bitching about no PvP to go do, so that they'll shut the hell up. So
Tell us how you really feel.
I mean, I don't know. It's like I see these people that are like so-called PvPers as they're playing Star Citizen on Twitch, and they just sit there circling Port Olisar, whining about how there's no fight, no PvP content, and what about us? And it's like, you worry that CIG is designing just for that vocal minority, but this will be good because it'll finally give them something to fight over. But with what Jade said, it'll have to be lucrative enough for people to come to it. to get those fights in the first place. You know, people will also have to be able to like group up. I think we'll actually probably finally see some ground vehicles show up. I think it'd be interesting, like if you have an org, you know, gets about 5-10 people, shows up with a herc or two and drops a whole bunch of ballistas off, you know, to just like completely shut the area down so that they can have ships come in and do stuff would be kind of neat. But yeah, I think it'll be good. It'll finally give the PvPers something to do, so hopefully they stop complaining all the goddamn time.
No, they'll.
I'd like to make a prediction.
What was
Jumptown
that? I'm
1
sorry.
I was going to say I'd like to make a real quick prediction. Jumptown
Okay.
1 was won by people on foot with guns. Jumptown 2 will be won by logistics. That's all.
Yeah. Well, and also one other thing too. The only other company that I've seen do this was CCP with Eve. You know, and having been in Eve since 2006, so many times we would do something in game, and sometime down the road, a system would get put into the game to officially support what we were doing. The contract system, the war declaration system, you know, the changes to the sovereignty system and claiming territory, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, they would just constantly see what we were doing and be like, maybe we should support them doing that, and then bring that content into the game officially. So to see that CIG is taking that stance as well is really, really awesome to see that that's the direction they're going.
I'm not picking on PvP specifically, but I think that even when Jumptown comes around, people will always find something to complain about. Like, Jumptown isn't like this, or Jumptown isn't like that. It's not specifically for PvP, but just for any aspect of gameplay that comes online, like salvaging or mining. People always find something to complain about. Well, hopefully, it'll alleviate a lot of issues, and you know, with that vocal minority, but can't do anything about that, really. All right, Kusanagi, what are your thoughts?
It's my turn. I did play the original, and I thought it was really cool. I mean, back in those days, you didn't know where the hell it was, so you had to like triangulate, you know, your way to get there. I mean, people would put stuff on the net and be like, you got to go, you know, it's between this location, travel this way. You know, it was really cool, and I don't think we're going to get that. I am looking forward to having a little bit more ground battles. You know, people saying they don't want to get a Nova tank or a Spartan. I'm like, they might actually regret that decision if they're met with these vehicles down there. I'm not like so much a PvPer, but I do see the how well this could play out. It'd be interesting to see how much like SIG is like deeply involved with it, because you know, again, Jumptown 1 was just like, you know, the players decided to do stuff there and decided to like, hey, we're gonna go. I mean, even my org, and we're a mining org, you know, we were like, hey, let's lock down Jumptown. Like, and like we created this like, hey, you know, no drugs are allowed in this location. We're like, we're the cops for tonight, and so that was kind of fun. So it'll interesting to see what actually happens with this. So yeah, who knows?
The poet, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm all for being the police force in this. I'm not a big PvPer. Like, I love trade and I love mining and just like making money. So I'm not concerned with like the little bit of profit you'll get from this. But I am always enjoying the age old thing of if it's red, it's dead. So I plan on getting my sniper rifle, being at a nice little distance, and if you're red, you're target practice. And then when my org is on, I'm sure we're going to have some fun locking it down with Spartans and other, you know, aerial stuff. I love seeing like the hammerhead like overhead in the video, you know, taking things out too. So it's just going to lead for additional content that many of us are looking for. It doesn't matter like if you like this or not. It's just additional content because this is still alpha, you know. So there's only so many things that we can actually do in Star Citizen right now until things truly open up in a year or two. But having a few dedicated locations that are kind of earmarked for, hey, things are going down here, and if you are going to be in this area, you know, be prepared to hit that run button. I'm all for that. and this is going to potentially lead for new creative events in the future as well, since this originated from a random fluke that took off and people enjoyed, and CIG implemented it now. Jumptown 4.0, 6.0 may be like seriously intriguing based on how well this goes. So I'm all for it. Looking forward to it.
Cool. Dark Knight, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool that they're throwing a bone to the PvP crowd, and it's probably much needed. Like Raid said, they're complaining about I don't have enough places to do PvP, and la la la, but now they do. And I think that is absolutely great. I'm not a PvPer myself, but I know that I will join in with my org whenever we go in, and and hang out with them, and probably end up locking down some location. The only issue I had with that was that they said it was scheduled. And that is the only thing I had an issue with. It's like scheduled like Ninetales, scheduled like Xenothreat. What are we talking about? Is it only going to show up on weekends? Is it only going to be, a monthly thing or something like that? I would like to see it be consistent, just like they did with the new notifications for trade, that they're always going to be there. I hope that they will, and maybe this is just testing it out, and that's why they're scheduling it. But I would like to see it be a consistent thing, and not just it's only going to happen on this day, or we're going to have this one weekend this month where Jumptown is, 2.0 is going to be running. I would like to see it more consistent, because then that gives people more things to do. Otherwise, if it's only like once every other week or once a month, what is everybody going to be doing after that? Probably pirating and griefing every other location outside of that, because there's nothing to do, So I just hope that this testing is just, the scheduling is just for testing and not indicative of this is what it's going to be, just a scheduled event, once or twice a month or something like that.
To your point, I think in the video they said that it's going to happen over the holiday break, but how often it's going to be, we'll see, I guess.
Right. Is it going to happen after the holiday break? That's my question. Is it only going to be during the holiday break, or are they going to extend it into a more consistent thing that happens, frequently throughout the weeks? Maybe 3 or 4 times a week. I don't know. Even more than that. It would be nice to see it on a, maybe a 10-hour, cycle or something like that. I don't know.
I think that it's probably something like the Xenothreat schedule. Like,
remember, it's supposed to be tied into Quanta, which isn't turned on yet fully.
And but he said that it's going to be scheduled.
I know, but we've seen Tony talk about how the goal is to make it attached to Quanta so that it just spawns naturally. So obviously, we've heard him talk about that in Star Citizen Live. We've heard him talk about that at the SitCon. So when we're talking about, well, hopefully they'll do X, Y, and Z, like they've said that's the goal. So my hope is, obviously this is just what they're doing for now to test it, seeing as how they want to give us something for the holiday break that they're going on. And then I imagine once they come back, again, the goal will be able to tie this into Quanta so that it just happens naturally.
Yeah, that'll be great.
I think my prediction is it'll be something along the lines of the first 2 Xenothreat. Like, they had Xenothreat 1, they took it out, and not took it out, but they turned it off, and they adjusted it and made it into Xenothreat 2.0, and it was a lot better for a lot of people. That my prediction that they'll do something similar with Jumptown 2.0. How about you, Griff?
I know.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I hope they do, though, because we haven't had Xenothreat for 2 months, so it's like I would like to see this be, it's 2 months later, and we haven't had a Jumptown, or something like that. But I agree with you, Rain. I think you're right. Quanta is going to make it a bit different, and I think even someone in chat here, I think it was who was it in here? I'm looking
Ryukishin.
at Ryukishin, yeah. That it's going to be tied in heavily with the Quanta, and that it'll just spawn based on different activities that are happening in the verse at that time, and that perhaps it will spawn it, say, if some kind of situations are met or something like that. You know what I mean? And that it pushes that to actually spawn that new mission or something like that. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see.
Griffin, what are your thoughts?
Combination of what a bunch of folks said. I think that obviously this is being tested, so we can't expect whatever it is not going to be permanent, right? They're trying it out right now. I agree with Rain. They did state that they were going to start putting Quanta in at 316, and it might be coincidental that this is starting at the same time that they're beginning to implement some Quanta. So maybe this is the test bed for both, for Quanta as well as for Jumptown. I agree again on Rain's point that, as we go into the holiday, they go on their break, gives them some data, some things to look at. So I don't think worrying about the scheduling right now, Dark Knight, is an issue. Not yet. Nothing permanent. You know what I mean? I think they're just saying that they need to schedule some things in for when it's going to drop. And obviously it's got to be done in such a way that people, no matter what, time zone they're in, no matter what shift they work, whatever, that they have access to be able to play it. So I think that they're going to make sure that happens. My only disappointment with this, I love what they've come up with, because I've had some concerns about how they would create Jumptown in a way that felt very organic. But my only thing I wish that they would do is that they didn't say what those 3 locations were. I actually wish that they would use more locations other than those 3. Now, maybe just for testing, for right now, that's what they're doing, those 3 spots. But to me, it would be so cool if those locations just went anywhere they wanted them to go. Maybe next month it's in one of the junkyards. Another month it's at, I can't think of that real spooky place that's on freaking what's the name of it? It's a weird name. Yeah, the Necropolis. Yeah, you know what I mean? So that you never know where it's going to be, because that way you don't get people camping at those 3 areas wondering whether it's going to come there or not. I really wish it was just that wherever it spawns, that's where the drug dealers move to for that period of time, and then next time there's maybe someplace else. That's the only dynamic aspect I wish that they would do with it. But I do understand that right now they've got to start somewhere, and 3 different locations is better than 1. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It was a lot of fun. I'm not a big PvPer, but when I went there, I had a blast doing it. I had fun with folks doing it. By the way, those of you talking about the A2 Go map, ain't happening. I can tell you that now. They're going to make it just like now. You can't bomb bases with the A2. They're not going to let you bomb it. I guarantee you, because that's just too easy to wipe out everybody and their mother. They're going to want something that's much more to what Jade mentioned, I think, where people are interacting using all the different types of things like bikes and rifles and sniping and everything else, more than somebody just dropping a big size 10 and just wiping everybody out.
One thing one thing that caught my attention that I'm surprised no one picked up on was music during this segment, the Jumptown segment. It was weaving in and out with the monologue of the developer, and that impressed me. I don't think they probably done it before, but I never noticed it. But it really noticeable for me in this segment. So props to CIG for that. I liked it.
Cool.
Anyone else pick up on that?
I missed it.
Okay. All right. Any final thoughts before we move on for this ISC? I liked it. I liked last week better.
Only thing I was gonna
go ahead.
Yeah, the only thing I was gonna add is Rain had mentioned this too. Ground vehicles are going to be key for Jumptown 2.0. I think ground vehicles are going to be extremely helpful in many different ways, because now you have ballistas, and you've got the Spartan, and you've got the Cyclone TR. Is it the TR? And all of these different ground vehicles that can be used now, because it's going to be a little bit harder probably to fly a ship in. But then at the same time, people that are PvPing are going to be sitting there with a ballista waiting to blow your Titan out of the sky. But obviously you can't do it in Armistice Zone, but you can be outside of the Armistice and still take a fire. So yeah, Jet, vehicles are harder to find as well. You're right.
Okay. All right, with that, we're going to move on to our machinima. Cinema this week is Picoing, a Star Citizen horror cinema by Borealis Industries. I'm going to do something a little bit different this time. I'm going to go full screen with this cinema and then come back. So if you want to hear it, you have to tune into the stream. You have any thoughts, Griffin, before we start, or should we just get into it?
Let's make it happen.
Are we doing the YouTube thing first?
I don't know. Fast car's up to him.
My bad. Yeah, you're right. The YouTube giveaway. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you. Griffin, you can take over for that one.
Yeah, real quick, gang. Some of you who were here Sunday know about this, but we're doing a special promotional giveaway for the month of December where we're going to be giving away a RSI Phoenix. We're trying to get our YouTube number subscriptions up. We were at 795 a week ago, and we are now at 894. So we've gone up by 99 subscribers. So we are just 106 people short of reaching our goal by the end of December. So you guys have done a great job. That was like a lot of folks within 1 week. So if we hit that 1,000 mark, if you go to our YouTube, this is for YouTube only. If you go to YouTube, if you like, subscribe, and leave a comment, you'll be entered into the contest so that you could be eligible to win a RSI Phoenix. Is it with 10 years or is it LTI fast card?
10 years.
It's 10 years with 10 years of insurance. So that's basically it. And you could, don't run the video because I just explained it. So don't even worry about running the video.
You just did it. I agree.
I just explained it. All right.
I posted the video if they want to take a look at it, so it's right there.
Thank you, Admiral.
Yeah, the video that Admiral Kuznagi just linked, you go to that and comment on it. The video that you're watching now, if you're watching on YouTube, this is not the giveaway video. The video check out YouTube channel for the giveaway video. All right, with that, we're gonna hit our cinema. So here we go.
Ben, wake up. Huh? Ben! Get your ass out of bed. We're here.
I'm awake. Jeez. It's about time. What do we got?
For fuck's sakes, man. Put some damn pants on. Looks like a down caterpillar. No life signs detected. Go get suited up and see if there's anything worth salvaging in there.
Can I at least get some coffee first?
I'm gonna kill this kid.
One small step for man, one giant leap for man.
Cut the shit! Well, someone's cranky tonight. Whoa, this is crazy. I'm sure glad I wasn't on this ship. Are you sure we have to do this? Quit jabbering and get in there.
I'm going. Jeez.
I'm heading to the aft section now.
Okay, I'm inside. What the hell happened in here?
What happened to the crew? Huh? What was that? Hello? Hello? I think this place is getting to me. Stop playing around in there. I'd like to be back on Orison before breakfast. Yeah.
Heading to the command deck now. I don't like this place one bit.
I'm not seeing anything.
Huh?
What is it?
I thought I heard something.
See what you can salvage in the engine room.
See what you can salvage in the engine room.
I heard that. I'm almost there. In the engine room now. And
some of this stuff still looks salvageable. Taking a look around. Well, this is busted. What do we have here? Looks like some of these components are still intact.
time to earn that paycheck.
Like you pay me enough anyways.
What was that?
Nothing. Huh? What the? A Pico? How did you get in here? Let's get you out of my way. There you go. That was weird.
What are you doing in there? Get those power plants.
I'm working on it. Should have became a pilot. I'm tired of this job. What the hell? Ah! Get out of here, you stupid Pico. Bye. See you later. Why do I always sign up for these jobs? I'm tired of it.
Ben, I'm not gonna tell you again. Hurry up.
I just need to finish this and then I can go home. Last little bit. Almost there.
Ben, report. What's going on down there? Ah, stupid radio.
Your systems are offline.
What the hell? We don't have time for this. You better not be fucking around with me, Ben. I swear to God, if this is you... nothing's working. What did you do, Ben?
Lift access open.
Ben, if that's you, you're dead.
Habitation access open.
Ben, this is not funny. Cut it out.
Engineering access open.
This is your last warning. You'll be fired.
Stairwell access open.
I will throw you out into the dead of space.
Command access granted.
Huh? What the hell is this?
picking up something large on the scanners.
What is it?
Looks like an old wreck site, 70 kilometers west of Aston Ridge.
Let's go check it out.
Moldman, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for the 5 subs.
Looks like someone's already here.
Not detecting any life signs.
Taking us in for landing.
Landing sequence initiated.
I'm going to see if there's anything useful down there.
Something doesn't feel right. Be careful down there.
You know me. I will. Guess what I found?
Well, that certainly was interesting. All right, let's go in order. Kusanagi, what are your thoughts about the Pickering?
I'm not a huge fan of like horror movies and stuff like that. I mean, I've watched Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that when I was a kid. But this was fantastic. I mean, it was just fun. It was like, what the heck's this? And then the Pico thing. It was just a really fun thing. And I will have to comment on that last logo of Star Citizen at the end. I thought that was fantastic. But yeah, it was very good. I liked it a lot.
Can I say goodnight real quick?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Give your thoughts and say goodnight.
Actually, this was kind of cool. This is actually kind of cool. So I just love this community. I just really do. It's stuff like this, just the creativity and all that kind of good stuff. But I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning, and it's now midnight. So I love y'all and miss y'all, and I shall see you later. Now that I'm done with Endwalker. So good night, everyone.
Okay, take care.
Good night, Rain.
Good night, Rain. The Poet, you're next.
So one of the things I do with my 890 jump is in each one of the suites from my org mates, I always leave like a Pico or some gifts, stuff like that. I'm not doing the Picos anymore. No more Picos. No, I'm done with that. I am highly impressed by the time they took to like write the script, to film all this, to put it all together. This was no small thing. Because like I'm in LA, so I understand like all of the Hollywood aspect of things and all the filming that I do as well and editing. And oh my God, it's not easy. And it just shows how much this community does love this game to take the time to put this together. And this is not a one-off. Like I know there's a bunch of these styles of videos, but this one in particular, like they practiced. They had to like put a lot of time in to rehearse and get the script right and the emotion and all that stuff. And yeah, this is 2 thumbs up. I look forward to more of this from them.
Thank you. Dark Knight, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I originally saw this one. I think it was DG that had shown this, and it was the first time I saw it, and so I posted it in our Discord. But the thing that amazed me, one, is that they put this together in about 2 weeks because the 400i was in this video. And that had only come out just maybe 2 weeks before Halloween. And they put this out right before Halloween. So they did not take, they had like maybe 2 weeks of work to put this whole thing. Now, whether or not they had the script written already was a different story, but they were talking about Orison, they had the 400i in there. So they took they took time to put it together, but they know what they're doing. The music was great, the script writing was good, and it was a true horror flick. I mean, it came off very well. It was scary for a lot of people that first saw it, because they just pulled it off. And I do love the fact that they made a great use of VoIP. They made a great use of lighting, and their editing was really spot on with some of the effects and things like that. I'd love to see how they did it. And I put this on par, with some of the other, high quality machinimas that we've watched. I don't know if they're a big studio or if they're just, just a group of people just creating things. But like you said, the Star Citizen logo at the end and their own graphics and things like that, they know what they're doing. They put some time and effort into making this come about, and the fact that they did it in about 2 weeks was just awesome. And of course, I don't know how much they filmed before, say, the 400 came out. They might have filmed a lot of this beforehand, but it's just a testament to our community. It's just awesome. They're finding uses for the game. The game gives them something to work with. And we're just going to keep seeing more and more things like this. And I just thought this was just so cool. I really did.
Yeah, this premiered on October 30th, so just before Halloween. So I think they were under a timeline or deadline to get it out by Halloween, and they succeeded. All right, Face to Face, what are your thoughts?
Like, it was cool. Kind of wish it had more picos than just the one. It kind of had a reminiscence of if you remember the old horror flick called The Critters.
Oh God, Critters.
Critters, yeah.
So much for me going to sleep tonight. Damn it.
Yeah, it was just kind of had that vibe to it. So I kind of dig it. It was funny. It was funny. So they did one thing I will say on the audio side. They did do a very good job of not allowing the music to drown out everything.
I'm just going to say, if you want more picos, you have to wait till the sequel. It'll be the Pete Wing 2, the Electric Boogaloo. So stay tuned for that.
Oh God, okay. All right, so we gonna see a feature from Turbo and Ozone?
No, I got the alien vibe from this. Jay, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought they did an excellent job with this. Like Fizz said, the audio was well balanced. The setting, like using one of those rec sites, just adds to the just horror, space horror thing. They've done a real good job creating classic space horror like Alien in Star Citizen, and I can't wait to see more from them. I was afraid we weren't going to get that Pico squeak, but they saved it exactly to the end. Like I thought, oh, it's over, but then they put it at the end. So yeah.
And the scary thing is, I almost quit the scene before we got to it. I'm glad I waited, so you almost missed it.
Yeah, this is the first I saw it. It's amazing. Good use of VoIP. Good use of FOIP. These people are just getting better and better at machinima, like we keep saying every week.
Colorado, what are your thoughts?
So I really loved the design of it. I'm just gonna say, if any of y'all get in a situation like that and we do get animals, I'm sorry, I'm leaving you behind. There isn't gonna be any where's Ben, where's Jade, where's Fizz, where's Fastcard. No, all y'all are dead. I'm flying the ship out, right? Because I'm gonna survive. I ain't gonna stay back and wait for them to get.
Wow. Man.
I would have said you guys offer you
Okay.
sure, but
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 now
yeah,
we know now we know who not to bring along for these trips. All right, Pops, what are your thoughts?
Oh man, you knew where it was going from the beginning, but I just love the shots of the caterpillar. That orange just looked so good, and then in the scenes, excellent job. Like everybody said, they put a lot of work, a lot of heart and soul in using Star Citizen. It just makes you feel good to see people using Star Citizen in a creative manner as they do. I mean, it's just nice, really nice.
Yeah, this was my first time seeing it. I enjoyed it. It gave me a jump scare too, and that was okay. I normally don't watch anything of this genre, but once in a while, and I didn't have the camera on me this time, so it was cool. Griffin, you're the one who picked this. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I promised you guys this will be the last horror piece. There were just a couple of them that we didn't get in during the Halloween season. And I'd forgotten about this one, and I meant to show it. And I went back through my list, and I said, oh, dog, I forgot to show this. I said, I really want to show it. For this one, I agree with a lot of everybody said, but two things that stood out for me with this one. The cinematography in this was really good. The way they shot it, it had a ominous feeling to it. Just from the very beginning, it just felt like, it was like a little bit disturbing, not very much, but just enough. The images they used at the end, coming in, doing the resalvage at nighttime. Pops mentioned about the caterpillar with the red lights glowing, the red glowing on the sides. And then in the daytime, when the next ship comes, the art direction they did in that was great. Not just the fact that they used the origin and the white, but then you look at the uniforms, everybody was in white uniforms inside. And it kind of has a different feel with that one white ship we're looking at on the screen right now, and everything else is very dark and ominous as it's approaching. So I thought that they just thought out a lot of good stuff on here. And Poets is right. The script was good. Music was on point. Using the Pico was a great, stress reliever because, we've talked about those scary monsters that might be on the ship. But the fact that they used the Pico to do it was kind of didn't make it so scary. So I think they did a great job with it. I really did like this one.
Yeah, I agree. I like it a lot better than I thought it would. Because I saw the title, I saw Citizen Harm Cinema. I was like, oh Lord. But no, it was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Now I'm not one for horror. All right, with that, I think we reached the end of this episode. I want to thank everyone for joining us. Admiral Kusanagi, the poet, Dark Knight, Face to Face, Jade, Karate, Cotton Face, and Rain Cloud. I want to thank Griffin for being my co-host as always. Always a pleasure to have him here. If you want to buy our merchandise, we have a link down below. You can buy a t-shirt, hat, mugs, and mouse pad. Check us out on Sunday. We'll be talking about speaking of machinima, we'll be well, that's the wrong promo. But we're talking about we're having
the Cinemakers.
Yeah, Cinema Maker. That'll be on Sunday, 8 p.m. That 1 a.m. UTC. We're having a whole bunch of people on. Should be fun.
Let me give some details on that so we know who exactly is going to be on. Some of you all may remember on this Thursday show, we've been showing these different machinima. And the one that we have coming up, we've got 4 of probably the machinimas that we responded to, probably the most favorable. And those guests are going to be the folks from Barely Not Monkeys Productions. Those are the people who did Adrift. For those of you who've seen Adrift. Elite Expeditionary. They did Overclocked. Star Jump, their team, or I think Grimm's going to be here from them. They did the Aegis and the Drake interplanetary videos, and then Zark Media that does Stanton News. So we're going to have all those machinima makers on, cinematic makers on. We're going to look at their videos, and they're also going to give us some behind the scenes on how they made them. So if you're interested in getting into the whole machinima thing, or learning how they did it, or maybe even getting some trade secrets from them, that's going to be this Sunday, and the hosts on that will be Fastcart and Jade, so they'll both be here to share on that.
Looking forward to it. Yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah,
I have to. I have to correct promo on that. I remember what I did. So yeah, so look forward to it. It's Sunday 8 p.m. December 12th. With that, we're going to be rating Made in Ariana, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
That's correct.
All right. So again, I want to thank everyone, and I hope everyone tunes in next week. We'll have more zany monologues. I have no idea what I'm doing week to week, and sometimes it's last minute. Sometimes I have an idea for days in my head. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully, everyone enjoyed them. And with that, I want to say thank you, everyone, again, and peace, love, and soul. Send Made in Ariana our love.